the when you approach this subject of roll cancel, and I'm gonna highlight it here, what Psycho Chronic says about it in this Game Facts guide, link in the description. You'll be able to see that like it wasn't an intended mechanic from
Right.
Capcom. They confessed that it was not a planned feature, and at the same time, I could argue that the special cancel in P Groove, I guess, was also forgotten to be added in the base game because you and I both agree that they should have had that special cancel ability
Definitely.
in P
Definitely.
Groove.
And
Because
the buff of the meter for sure. Buff of the meter.
yeah, and the quality of life of that being built up quicker as well, that's needed. So they considered this another way to remove that glitch and do it. And the argument's always been around that players decry it's an unfair advantage. They're going to say, like, you're taking that side where you could just, skip away from the neutral, the mechanics of the game. You're not even at that point playing a Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, Street Fighter type game. You're
Right.
just going by this mechanic to power up and create viable tools for your
Hmm.
characters to excel with. So a
Right.
lot of my friends, and I was explaining it to one of my best friends who doesn't play fighting games but is a gamer,
Mm.
and he believes that if the developers didn't intend for that mechanic to happen,
Hmm.
regardless of how the community's adopted it and the game metas evolved from it, it's within the developer's right,
Hmm.
in
To
this
have it
case
there.
Capcom, to
Hmm.
to to have that done and
Hmm.
to have that committed.
Right.
But I'm trying to see where they discuss here because the one thing, and I remember this being a point of discussion from people who were SNK KOF type of fighters,
Right.
is that they felt that characters in Capcom vs SNK 2 were too much of a Capcom feel. And
Right.
like for instance, like Kyo is a fun character in my opinion. I do enjoy using him, but I know that he doesn't feel the same way as he does in KOF 98. I know in KOF
Definitely not.
98,
He has a whole different like move set. It feels like it's like some of the similar moves, but a couple of different ways that they restrain him and stuff. And
yeah, and the
Capcom.
properties about that. And I
Yeah.
remember Kyo in KOF 98 being extremely cheap, one of my favorite characters in the game because he was really fast. And when I
Hmm.
played CVS 2, suddenly I felt like I was moving slower. And a lot of people feel that CVS 2 lacks in mobility, even with the small jump. It doesn't have like that pace or that flavor that the KOF series has. Though the SNK characters are viable, some of them are gorgeous, it doesn't have like, so to speak, like something that KOF purists like more so love, which is just that zip, if I recall correctly, that I remember playing on the MVS hardware would have. Like it just they wanted more of that Neo Geo feeling. I think it's a little hard to explain, but I feel like sometimes they've been able to bottle it. Like I feel like the SNK Battle Arena Battlegrounds game from 2005, I think kind of was able to capture that feeling as well. But at the
Hmm.
same time, I argue that I feel like they tried too hard to go for that aesthetic with SVC Chaos. And I feel
Right.
like that was a bit of a flawed design as well.
Hmm. Um, my opinion of that is, well, for those who feel it lacks the flavor, you got to use a run groove. You could use S groove, you could use N groove or K to kind of keep the mobility there. Plus, you could do running hyper jump cross ups. You could do runnings into like, stop and then kind of set up small jumps. Small jump is really effective when you have a run groove with it. Grooves like N groove, like back in the golden era of CVS2 were godlike. I mean, because they were abusing the roll cancel, plus using run, plus using small jump and roll and counter movement. Like a
Yeah.
lot of counter movement situations where they would wait for you if it was a K sag. K sag would do a crouching fierce. They will block that counter move, roll through it, and with their other stock, do a quick short into level one or quick low medium level one. They just had so many setups that they were doing the Japanese with that end groove. And also Bucktooth did a lot of stuff with that end groove as well.
Yeah, and actually going to it, reading Buck2's Iori guide, and
Mm.
also talks about how like Ngroove was like just the perfect engine to run
Right.
this to run him with. And
Mm.
also Ngroove, the mobility, because going by James Chen's initial guide, the mobility of Ngroove is what attracted me towards that groove as well. Plus, at the
Right.
time, I was playing King of Fighters 98.
Mm.
And the standard mechanic of KOF 98 worked the same way with those stocks counter movement, small jump, roll, and all those mobilities, it drew me towards it. And I feel that
Mm.
even in EO, I would still be drawn towards End Groove in some situations because I feel like End Groove Iori would still be a lot of fun to work with. I want to go into the other changes here that we're not
Mhm.
talking about with EO, and let's go through them one by one. So first off, we got three of the top tier here: Sagat, Cammy, and Blanca. Damage properties are 5% increased, and I do feel that that
Decrease.
decreased. Yes, they do 5% less damage across the board.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, super. Now going back here, super combo. If I can go to this version here, they mention in particular like certain characters getting nerfs. Here originally Eagle, Maki, Kyosuke, Zangief, and Vice with damage buffs. But Psycho Chronics here goes a little more. It says King, Dan, Kyosuke, Maki, Zangief, Raiden, Yuri, Eagle, and Ryo's damage properties are 5% increased.
That's fair. Definitely.
So you're seeing like a big swing in some of these matchups too. And
Mhm.
in the tier list of both Justin and Boss, these are trash tier characters. Well, with the exception of Eagle, and we did mention Zangief and Raiden in the right hands can do some work here. And Maki is
Right.
also getting a lot more selected in more tournaments. So I think this buff will be definitely welcome towards the game balance. And this was
Definitely.
another thing they talked about with Cammy here is that
Mhm.
Cammy bounces a lot higher when her cannon spike gets blocked. Think of that move only with their CVS1 properties. So they did mention that there is like a change in how she bounces off back when moves hit. I do remember people were talking about that, and here in the Super Combo Wiki, they mentioned that let's see, less power for normal attacks. Yeah, it doesn't mention anything at all about that, other than they did remove the glitch, which has Kim's air super going into Cammy's drill and causing a screen freeze to happen there. So that's an interesting change to Cammy, and I don't have like I wish I understood a little bit more about the wording here.
Right.
Yeah, but that so does that like do you think those that alone like kind of influences like where she is as a top tier? Because I know you said that she should be top tier according to Justin's list.
Um, I would say that that's only going to be situational on certain characters being able to punish it. I think like the high tiger cannon is going to punish that. So if someone goes cannon spike and they're bouncing off of it, then a high tiger cannon is going to be a lot more easy to land. Certain combos, maybe even and Bison could probably Psycho Crusher super off that. There's a lot of people with the Blanca ball, there's a lot of stuff that's going to punish those missed cannon spikes. But besides that, Cannon Spike and CVS1 was so solid. Like when you jump in, you get hit with that a hundo. Cannon Spike, it was just pure. So they might give it, if it says it's the CVS1 properties, it's just a really pure Cannon Spike, like a pure uppercut. Versus in CVS2, sometimes it trades and like weird stuff happen in certain situations. So I think that's gonna make it what's different or not.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely something to be explored and discussed. The next one I want to talk about here is these changes to Maki and Ibiki. Maki can no longer juggle a custom combo after a P throw in the corner, and according to this one, I recall in the super combo, it's Hibiki and Maki can no longer activate A groove custom combos off throws. I know you mentioned that
Hmm.
prior and how big of a change that is as well.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that affects a small pool of CVS players because there's not a whole lot of Maki and Hibiki players at the moment. Um, that can change at the release of the new collection. So I want to bank on a lot of new players coming to play and us respecting that and people finding new characters and bringing it out and making the game different. So I really hope we see more Hibiki and Maki players that'll make the game more interesting to see a new community of people bringing different elements to the game, especially in ranked without role cancel. Now, that is going to be its own thing if you think about it, because everyone's going to be playing on the Evo standard, which is with roll cancel in most tournaments and majors settings, right? Unless certain majors start doing CVS to EO, which I don't feel it's gonna be foreign. There might be someone who wants to run that as a side tournament one day. Like, hey, you know what? They have
Yeah.
CVS2, but we want to run EO where there's no glitch, where we just want to see what people could do with the characters for real. You
Yeah, and
know?
I think overwhelmingly the offline tournaments are going to stick to the getting as close to the Naomi arcade millionaire fighting as much as they can. I mean,
Right.
especially in
Definitely.
some of the tournaments near me where we have with Retro Revival, we've been
Mm,
running trying to get it as arcade perfect as we can. And
mm.
also recently at Texas Showdown, they were running it arcade perfect. And with the fighting game collection, I think they want to try to keep they're going to try to keep the purists happy, which I'm all for. So
Right.
and it's going to be it would be interesting to see EO pick up as a side tournament, but it being ranked is definitely going to increase its this version's presence and its visibility. I want to talk about another change as well. According to Psychochronic's notes here, Sagat has some minor frame disadvantage and buffering of some of his attacks moves. Oh, this is for the GameCube version, so don't know if we're
Mm.
going to see that. But also at the same time, this nerf pissed me off when I played
I
the
don't like
Xbox
that
version.
one. I
I
don't like
hate
that one.
it. Oh, it pissed me off when I was a little
Yeah.
kid with the Xbox controller, man. Sagat can no longer super cancel off his crouching fierce attack. That is like getting that confirm into that low tire cannon.
I know
I hate this
you
nerf.
cannot take Sags crouching fierce anything. That's so sick. Like I'm mad about that one. I always will be. That's the one that as a SAG player I'm kind of mad about, but I don't need the crouch. I don't need to crutch on crouching fierce, into
Right.
cancels. There's so many other good buttons you can do stuff with
Oh
this.
yeah, you got the standing one too. So
Yeah, yeah, you got the standing one. You can crouch. Yep, exactly. You can do a lot of crouching medium kick confirms, crouching short. You can cross up with short standing jab combo. There's just a lot.
yeah. And one small thing here to mention here is that Eagle's overhead no longer knocks down, instead hits as a
Hmm.
grounded attack.
Hmm.
For I know the few Eagles out there, that's going to be a little bit of a change. One thing here is I recently found out about this combo, the Kimfinite, as it's known as on the street. Kim Kafwan's Infinite has been patched out of the game
Hmm.
in EO, and I haven't seen it done yet in tournament. I
Hmm.
think I've seen Kim maybe used once or twice. I love the character. Actually, I'm looking forward to him hopefully being. I think he should be added in City of Wolves, and I would love to use him in that game.
Hmm.
But the removal of the Kimfinite as well as some other changes with the glitch, well, which didn't really impact like game balance too much, but the Kimfinite, it's definitely a fun combo. So last change I want to talk about here is that in the GameCube and Xbox version, the training stage, because I'll be honest with you, the training stage theme in CVS2 is mid at best. It's just,
Definitely.
I mean, the design is great. The song sucks.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I mean, it's a training stage song. What do you expect? Like if you're criticizing music in training stage, like pick a level. There, done. All right. So this is pretty fun too because it adds in the original music feature from Cap vs SK1, and this is like the iconic stages. Ryusu got Bison Akuma, but we got Terry, Geese, Todos, Art of Fighting,
Mm,
Morrigan's, Nakaruru, Samurai Showdown. I think pretty much what they're missing here is Hibiki from Last Blade, any songs from
yeah.
Last Blade,
Mm,
which is a fire soundtrack, by the way. The but yeah, so they're mentioning the tune of compilated intros in order, yeah, and then as well as those. So I think that's hopefully they add this change in there because that would be cool, and hopefully they have the rights to these songs in there because well, most of them are Capcom anyway, just a handful are SNK. So that would be that would be that would be an interesting change there. So yeah, those are the changes. Just a few more. Relento and Dan can no longer be OTG'd with throws during A groove combos.
mm,
And I know Relento's got some shenanigans going on with his hitbox that that does that. Another thing I want to point out too about roll canceling that the Super Combo Wiki mentions here is that where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Roll canceling, yeah. Roll canceling could still be done for Kara canceling as well as command grabs. So it's just that they just the only thing is they just remove the invincibility properties that carry over into the special move.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So with that said, I've set up this template here. So let's start off. This is going to be for EO, this in particular. So with these changes, what you expect with the new collection going on in ranked. Let's go into it. Let's just talk about those top tiers.
Let's do
So
it.
top tiers in a world with no role canceling, K Groove dominated, and that's really what everyone's been saying on Twitter is that K Groove is going to be the beast, be all, end all groove because
Hmm.
of the advantages it had, and they felt that role canceling was kind of that equalizer where you could lock down against K Groove and its
Hmm.
mechanics. So a lot of people are saying that even though we've been gassing up P Groove quite a bit as well, and I still believe in P Groove in the right hands and the third strike purist hands, they could do some work with it and make it happen. One issue I got with this template, my bone to pick here is that Chang and Choi are listed individually, and that
You just
that's
gotta put them right next to each other, and we'll just
I
consider
gotta
them.
call out the template because the community will definitely call me out on that. Like,
They will.
Cheng and Choi are the same. Choi's pretty much an assist. Choi's not a playable character. You dunce, and
Yeah, that's true.
and if I don't know that by now, then I shouldn't be commentating CVS2 or staying within 10 feet of a CVS2 tournament. But
Like
let's
seriously,
um let's make this interesting though. Let's talk about the boss characters first off. That's the Orochi Iori, Evil Ryu,
they will
Shinakuma.
always be waste of time
Really, even with Justin Wong's execution with Shinakuma, you're saying that the all the bosses here waste of
because
time.
they're not tournament playable. So at least, I don't even see people in the future if there's EO tournaments allowing them to be characters that are playable.
You ever had to squint and look a little bit to see, make sure that the Orochi
The
Yori
right
and the
ones,
Yori
right?
are the right ones in particular? Like some of the
Yeah,
other ones you can kind of tell, but like Orochi Yori's more like he's got a slouch.
right.
So that's the only tell there. So boss characters, yeah, they've never really been considered like broken or damaging invasive species to the game balance. Basically, they've never been
Hmm.
considered that. It's just more so like an accessibility thing. People just not having those characters to practice against and learn the matchups.
Right.
Similar to with Street Fighter 4, you had
Hmm.
tournaments where only the characters that were available in Japan at the time, so no console characters were tournament legal for a bit. If I recall correctly, I think there may have been an Evo side tournament or the first Evo. I don't think side character, the console. No, console characters were allowed, but I remember there were money matches or side brackets where they banned console characters because the Japanese
Hmm.
didn't have a chance to practice against them. That being Sakura, Fei Long, Dan, Rose, Gen, um, and yeah, Akuma was selectable in the arcade version, but I just wanted to make sure I got them all there. So we talk about the boss characters there. And now let's go into it. I want to talk about which characters, Dr. B, off the dome, would you say are the most impacted by the changes in EO?
Most impacted.
Like they rise or they fall the most?
I would definitely put Terry Bogard in there.
Okay. All right. Where does Terry go?
I will put him in. Okay.
So he renames. So is that a
He'd be
great or
down in
good?
okay.
Oh, he'd be an okay. Oh man, I couldn't even read that. I was like,
Uh,
I thought it would be typed differently based on the way
mm,
Harry says that the syllables would be
he'd be
uh,
okay. And it's fitting because he
broken
always
out.
says okay.
Yeah. So he moves up from trash, right?
Yeah, he moves up from trash to okay.
Basically. Okay.
I,
Okay.
I wouldn't even put him in trash ever. He's always like mid tier.
Yeah, he's solid. I mean,
But I
especially
think that roll cancel makes him a mid tier. If you take mid roll cancel away from him, he's just kind of like okay.
I think Seagroove was his best because he had the Buster Wolf had like the super cancels from the Seagroove.
No, no, it's the A groove Terry's the best.
Oh, really?
He's too crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
He
The
has a
rising
really
tackle
easy
loops.
custom you can do from a crouching sweep into burn knuckles and carry him across the screen and then do whatever you want. There's so much you can do.
Love those rising tackles. Also, I love it when rising tackle is a charge and not a DP motion. I'm very
Yeah, I
bitter
like it when
about
it's
that in
charged way more.
SF6.
Yeah, it feels way better.
Very
Um,
bitter about that in
so like I would
SF6.
say next to that impacted. Um I would say Yamazaki gets impacted.
Where does Yamazaki go, you think?
I would put him in good.
In good. He was mid, but in Boss's tier list, he was mid.
Yeah, yeah, you just put him in good now.
Yeah, Wong puts him in B tier, and Yamazaki puts him in the high potential category, which is
Hmm.
yeah up there.
Let's see
So
who
he
we got next.
so he
Uh,
moves down a little bit.
let's see. You could throw Rugal in there.
Rugal, who by the way, Silent Scope and Texas Showdown a few weeks ago. Oh, put on a master class with the guy.
So I would say I would put Rugal's in okay.
Real Rugal drops. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. He's really good in the hands of a specialist, but outside of
Mhm.
that, you don't see a lot of Rugals because he's very hard to use, and like you usually have to use roll cancel or A groove with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
there's other specialists who use them with like K and P and stuff like that.
I see.
That's just literally from experience and fighting at them and stuff. So let's move on. Who else we got? I would say impacted. E Honda.
Honda. Okay. Yeah, and Honda's a power player. I
Honda
mean,
would
he
go to
gets used a
good.
lot.
Honda would be good still
He's still good. Okay. I
because
mean,
of
I
his
know the
low
K
his
groove.
his low punch headbutt still does like good priority as an uppercut type move, like anti-air move. So people jump in, you're still gonna get fucked up by that. Now
Right.
the the flying fierce headbutt and stuff is going to be a little more projected because it doesn't have roll cancel frames to go through fireballs and stuff. But it's still a good move, so you have to still watch out for it and his standing high punch and all of its anti-airs.
Give me a top tier.
A top tier would be Sagat.
So Sagat stays on top.
Yep, Sagat stays on top. Blanca stays on top. Bison
Bison, okay, stays on top.
always. Yep, just because he's a solid.
Still
uh,
pain in the fence.
he can still get the activation. Yeah, a lot of that happens is just what happens is he loses the ability to psychically set up for the paint defense, right? Like,
Mm,
oh, I know you're gonna do this. Well, here's a RC scissor kick right through everything you did and then right into
right.
it. Now you got to actually earn your setup. You're still gonna get it, but you got to earn the setup a little bit better, you know?
Mm.
Not as like given to you on a silver platter. Um, let's see who else in top tier. I would say Cammy.
Cammy. Oh, they gave her some interesting art there.
Um, they're just picking random games at this point. I see like
They are, it's
Bison
just
and stuff. They're
I'm
going
trying
crazy.
to I'm trying to
Um,
name the artist actually
they're
because
tripping. Let's see. And in the tops, I would say, I would say that that's the top right there.
okay. Now my next question,
Yeah.
who goes in the trash? Like who's
Benny
new to
Maru,
the
Benny
trash?
Maru,
Okay, Benny Mara's been there, but who's new to the trash?
new to the trash. I mean, Nakaru still goes in there.
I hope you don't piss off Mama Haha.
Yuri,
Yeah.
Dan, Yun,
Oh boy.
Maki.
Man, they're
Who's
gonna come after you in tournament with Maki, man. The
It's all
Maki,
good.
you are
Do it.
making the Maki army angry.
They can come all they want to. They're gonna get whooped. Let's see. Who else we got? Mm, I think that's it for trash.
What about
Yeah.
Toto?
Toto. Yeah, throw that Toto in there. Toto
Yeah.
should. I
Oh, can't
honestly,
forget the traditional,
in
the
my opinion, like
Kiosuke.
Kiyosuke, in my opinion, Raiden goes in the trash. Raiden goes in the trash too.
Okay, Raiden. I just threw in Kiosuke and King
Yeah,
in there
he's
because
getting
they'd be
Raiden.
considered
He's
the
throwing in the
bottom.
trash.
Wow,
Um,
Raiden gets thrown in the trash. No
Yeah,
love
he
for Big
definitely
Bear,
does.
huh?
Okay, so now let's start going to mid tier, above them. Let's go Balrog. You can go to Balrog. He's going to be okay. Yep. And then Relento's going to be okay. Relento's going to be okay. Yep. Habiki's going to be good. just because she's just good, solid. I would say he's still good.
She in this template.
Well, actually, she's
Oh, there
okay.
she is. There she
I
is.
would say
She's
she's
okay.
okay. She's okay, yeah.
You'd say she's okay. All right.
Yep. Geese is good.
Geese, you mentioned. Geese
Well,
moves down
actually,
to
I would throw
good.
Geese in. I would throw Geese in great. I would throw Geese in
Still
great.
great. I mean, I think with K Groove though, I mean, it seems he gets more overpowered. Like he's a bigger fish in the pond.
Right.
I don't know. I think he might, yeah, he's cool enough. What about his boy? What about Rock?
I would say Rock. He goes into good.
He goes in the good category. All
Yeah.
right. Hey, what about Sakura? Now, she was previously here. Roll canceling takes away some of her, she may not be as dominant with A Groove. Where does Sakura go?
Yeah, take her what she's gonna be good.
I
She's gonna
mean,
be good.
she still has great buttons though.
Yeah. She's gonna be good, but she needs that roll cancel. I swear, the roll cancel hurricane. I mean, but she's good with the cross ups and her regular stuff. I would actually still put her in great. I would put her in great for sure
I
because
mean,
she's a
her
lot
neutral's
because
fantastic. She's got
yeah,
a
she has really
dive
good neutral.
kick.
Yeah, so I would say that she's still good.
Her Tatsu pressure is amazing.
Vega's gonna be in great.
Yeah, likewise, still got some great neutral.
Yeah. Let's see. Guile's gonna go into good. I'll
Hmm.
say Vice goes into okay. Chun-Li goes into good. Actually, I would put Chun-Li into great.
Yeah, I do too. I think Chun-Li gets
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So Chun-Li into
Chun-Li
great.
gets a boost here for sure.
I would say Dalsum is I'd say Dalsum's kind of a waste of time.
Okay.
Yeah, like honestly, you got to really put a lot of work in. Kiyosuke is okay. I'm not
Kyosuke
Kiyosuke.
moves
No, no,
up.
sorry, no, not Kiyosuke. Sorry, Hamaru. Hamaru's okay.
Harumaru's okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's a
Hamaru's
fine
okay.
character.
Let's see. We'll go. Yeah,
Morgan. A lot of
Morgan.
people.
I will
She's
honestly
fun.
say Morgan. I know some of the fans are coming for me for this, but I think she's okay. She's
Oh, okay.
yeah, I
I
think
mean,
she's
with the K groove though.
K Groove Morgan is I would say good, but I think her in the other groove she's just okay.
Okay, I got you there.
Because she has really low health. So you play a high tier, she can just take her apart. In most
Well,
scenarios.
what
I
about
would
the
say
Shotos?
Ryu goes to good. I would say Ken goes to great.
Hmm.
I would say Akuma's good. Um
What about Rio? Rio stays bottom.
yeah, Rio goes okay. I would say Rio's okay.
Oh, it moves
And I
up.
played some godlike Rios in Japan, man. Oh, they're different. They're different. They're doing stuff that's like, whoa, you didn't even think, he can do that. So,
I want to see him used in tournament. He's got some interesting
hey,
tools.
I saw some of the most amazing play in Japan of the lower tiers on god tier levels. Like,
Yeah, he's
and
got an air
the
fireball
thing
too. It's
the thing
amazing.
that they're doing with a lot of these lower tiers, it's not just all roll cancel. So that's what everyone is like tripping on is because yes, they're the masters of roll canceling. They actually have good fundies. Like the way they use the characters and play is way more solid. Um, let's see. Let's move on to
I'm looking at Chang and Choi. They're a popular choice lately.
Chang and Choi are okay. They go only okay.
I mean, really, it's just Chang, but we give Choi a spot here.
We give him his props.
Yeah.
We'll do Zangief as okay.
All right. Yeah, the
We'll
right
do
hands.
we'll do Keo as okay.
I feel like with the game balance, K Groove Kyo might.
He's gonna do yeah, he is gonna do good with the game balance. I wouldn't say he's
Yeah.
good. I wouldn't say good. Iori definitely goes to good.
Yeah, I agree. Yori's
That's,
solid.
that's for damn sure. Eagles okay. Mai's good. I would say Kim is okay. I would say Athena's okay. And Joe is okay.
Oh, Joe's okay. Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
where's Joe's on Boss's tier list? He's up. He's in a place. In a Yeah. He's wished he had one more strong point. Yeah, I kind of agree. But A Groove Joe is especially very interesting as well. Growing up,
Yeah.
we'd always love to chip out with Joe's level 3 combo because it just has so much area,
Oh
and
yeah, it
I
does.
just have so many stories about that super in
A lot of
particular.
people jump into it too. It's great. It does a lot of damage. Like,
It
oh my.
does. It does, and if the
That's
chip
a fair
kill, it's
tier list, y'all.
100%.
I don't feel anyone's gonna really be at me about this one. This is pretty solid.
Oh yeah.
This is solid.
I'm gonna save this one here.
You can coin it. That's Dr. B's EO tier list right there. On the fly. This is like on the fly.
Yeah, we just made it for y'all because like I need the comments. So but then so I know that tier lists always drive discussions and everything. It's just I can't really trust myself with the CVS2 and I'm more credible with them about my rankings of cheese.
Basically, right here, keeping some space. See, he jumped in. That's that standing fierce. That's the best anti-air against Blanca right there, or the jumping medium punch twice. But if you see him jump in, you standing fearsome. I'm kind of trying to stay off him so he can't just keep doing those sweep mix-ups. I block that. I get the free punish on the Psycho Crusher, high punch only, mainly. There he goes. Boom. Put him in the block stun, right?
Right?
I'm just dodging, keeping him out. He's trying to get in there, pressure with the electricity and grab. I dodge that. Oh, we got the sweep in there. All right,
Oh,
that was a nice exchange because it was an autocorrect on the side. Oh, I didn't try to do that head stomp. I really didn't. That right there was dumb because he gets a free hit right here, but he missed it. He could have got a crouching fierce. If you missed that, with Bison, when you go through the other side, you can get a crouching fierce for free if you don't have a super. All right, blocks it. I'm just trying to bait him into doing a normal so I can get this level 1 super, but I'm just trying to build nice hyper jump cross up high kick. Okay, good scissor kick to keep the pressure. You see that? Small jump, low kick, cross up for the
yeah.
exchange because I just threw off what he wanted to do there. That was insane.
Yeah, he took a significant portion of the life lead here
Definitely.
of his
So,
health.
so he's looking good. Boom. Put him in the corner. Oh,
Oh,
I did
across the
charge
upper.
fake in between that jab setup. It throws people's frame off a little bit. All right.
It's crazy how it
I'm just
hits.
playing good spacing right here, neutrals and spacing. All right, boom, just jumping away. I shouldn't be jumping around as much because you can accidentally get hit with that super or intentionally. So I'm just like dodging, blocking, trying to stop that shit. There he goes. He gets the free grab. Oh, I didn't want that to happen. I tried to stop that. And now he's putting a nice pressure on with that Blanca. I shouldn't allow all this. It should not have been happening.
Oh,
All right, puts him in the corner. Just anything could happen here.
that
So
RC lightning.
all right, so right there, he thought he chipped me out. Boom, crouching fear
Boom.
super. Now that won't happen in the EL version,
Yeah,
right?
but he won't have RC lightning either. So
And he won't, and he won't. And that was the crouching fierce Tiger Cannon held around the world at Evo 2019. So that was the keep going into top 8 right there for another medal. So that was crazy. That was one of my favorite medals to earn right there.
and if you look at the irony of that, if you see the irony of that, we were just pointing out that he can't do that with the RC lightning, but then
Right.
you lose the crouching jab, the crouching fierce cancel.
Hmm.
So it's like, yeah, we can't do that in EO either.
Not at
So
all. But that was fun. That was a great moment in CBS history right there.
it was a great fight. It was awesome to see and engage. So, well, so we pretty much got everything here.